Hi guys, I'm Kayla Evelyn, and last spring I stumbled into an art style that has actually stuck. And I took my art from this to this. After about 6 months of painting in this style, I decided to put myself out there and applied to my first gallery. And my art was actually accepted, which I was not expecting. This was my first gallery application. But I don't want this story to end there. So, starting June 1st, I'm going to be painting every single day for a whole month in order to build my portfolio a little bit faster, because your girl is a procrastinator. But before I just dive right into painting, I need to be ready. So today I'm gonna be on the hunt for some good reference photos. We're gonna build some really cool color palettes that I can get inspired by, and so much more, so I can actually go into this challenge with my head on straight. I feel like I'm missing something. Nice. In the end, I'm hoping to have about 15 to 20 pieces so that I can feel comfortable applying to multiple galleries. And currently, I only have 4 pieces on hand. Before we dive in, I want to show you what I have painted so far. Color Drunk, that one, this one right here, that is the biggest one I have, which is 16 by 20 inches. The rest of the paintings are 10 by 10 or smaller. Then I have an additional 4 that are currently consigned to the gallery, so I'm not gonna count that towards our total. So if I'm aiming for like minimum 15 pieces, we're gonna have to plan 11 today. Let's dive in. So to start, I want to go through some of the photos that my fiance and I have taken over the past year-ish. We've been taking a lot of photos going out for nature walks, so I think those will be really, really useful. They're mostly birds and flowers, which I'm totally fine with, but I have painted a lot of birds. Then I'm going to peruse through some photos that my friends and family have sent me. We have a little group chat with my little fam jam, and everybody puts in their little life updates in there. So I threw out a mass text to my family to send me all of the nature photos they had from camping, traveling, anything like that, so that I wouldn't have to work as hard. So they've all sent me a bunch of pictures that I can go through. And then my absolute last resort is gonna be Pixabay. It's a website that I've used before, and they have copyright-free images. It was a resource that I found through the channel Lacry Fine Art on YouTube, which is where I learned so much of my painting when I first started off. She is the reason why I still use Liquitex basics. They're so simple, they're affordable. Anyway, this isn't about paint. Where was I? Lacry Fine Art, she recommended Pixabay for reference photos, and I loved it for years, and now it is muddled with AI slop. So that is gonna be our absolute last resort, because honestly, it is just a pain to navigate now and to search up bumblebees, and you get a bunch of really cute photos from a bunch of photographers that put their stuff on there for free for people to use, and then think it's a photographer's, but you scroll in a little bit closer and all of a sudden this bee has like 3 sets of wings instead of 2, and it just didn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm going to try and avoid it, but if I have to weed through it, which I might have to, because I have one painting that I want to do. I want to paint an octopus. And neither my family nor I have ever seen an octopus in real life, so I might actually have to go to Pixabay for that one, but it'll be worth it because we just watched the documentary, My Octopus Teacher, and it was so cute. And I had no idea that octopuses only live for a year, which is absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, blah, blah. So Pixabay is now officially my last resort, but I will probably be using it for one of the paintings. So I'm gonna dive in, I'm gonna look through my Google Drive, I'm gonna look through my thumb drive, I'm gonna look through my phone, through messages that family has sent me, and I will report back with what I found.
A few moments later.
I just realized I didn't show you anything. Before I look for reference photos, I wanna show you what I have so far for canvases. 3 10 by 10s, which already have a colored background, so we're not gonna be picking up color palettes for that one. I had this one. I have 2 11 by 14s, which are also prepared with colors. Really, really colorful ones. One 16 by 20, a 20 by 20, an 18 by 24, and a bunch more little guys. 2 by 6. So those are all the canvas that we're gonna be prepping subjects, and color palettes for today. Okay, so this might not be the most efficient way to organize things, but this is how I had it before. I had a bunch of the subjects that my family members sent me written out on little pieces of paper that I had stacked on these canvas because I had an idea for what I wanted to do for the pre-painted ones, but it's been a while now since I've done that. So let's see if I want to use any of these. My grandpa sent me a really good picture of a red fox. I was thinking of putting that on the red canvas, but now I've kind of changed my mind. But we're definitely going to use that photo because it was a really nice photo. My fiance took a really cool picture of a yellow butterfly when we were in Crete. I already painted that. Puffins! I actually do really want to do this. My younger cousin sent me a picture of a puffin. And I think that the puffins would actually look really good on this canvas just because of the fun colors that are in there. I think it would make the most sense sideways, having the rock kind of like go over that way. I'm just gonna set that one there for now because that is how we're organizing ourselves today. Puffins. Mama bear. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have 2 really big canvases downstairs that are 30 by 36 inches. And I think I'm gonna save that one for that. Squirrel, I think is my grandma who sent me a really cute picture of a squirrel, so we're definitely gonna use that one. My grandma also sent me a really cute picture of some butterflies, and it was like bright orange and really, really beautiful. And then pelicans. On Lake Namibin. My grandparents sent me this one. We always used to go fishing up at Lake Namibin when I was younger, so I had to paint those. Those are done. But the rest of those subjects, I'm gonna have to go through my thumb drive and the Google Drive and my text messages and see if I can find some good pictures. Okay, let's send that to my MacBook. There we go. Got some really weird angles of some grasshoppers that I am just not gonna paint. I don't know.
One eternity later.
Whew. Okay, finally got most of them sorted out. I don't know what it is. I can't stop painting chickadees. And so 2 of these paintings are gonna be chickadees again because I can't help it. I just love them so much. Kayla from the future here. Tell me why shimmying is my default setting for thinking. One I don't have a reference for is the 20 by 20. I also don't have a reference for the 16 by 20, which I'm thinking I want to do an octopus. So I'm thinking we gotta go on Pixabay. We got to. And I will try to find an octopus that isn't AI, which hopefully there'll be quite a few, but we'll see. Otherwise I'll just have to paint more chickadees. Ooh, actually, no. I need to stop myself. I could do a bunch of chickadees on the 20 by 20. Okay. Pixabay. If you log in with a free account, you get better resolution. Octopus. Let's go. Already, so many of these are AI. Gross. Oh god. I could do a bunch of coral. If I can't find a good octopus, I could just do a bunch of coral. When I tell you, could it be a turtle? Oh my gosh. Like swimming down this way. So much more AI. It's the worst. My god. Ooh, what about a whale? Okay, we're gonna search whale. We're gonna find something. We didn't find anything. If you guys know of a better site, please let me know in the comments because this would make my life so much easier. So for the 6x6s, I have my grandma's butterflies. For the other little 6x6, I'm probably gonna go with the wren because it's building a little nest in our backyard and it's really, really cute. The 8x8s, I'm gonna use this photo of a squirrel for one of them. And then the second one I'm gonna do a photo that my grandpa sent me of a red fox laying down. And this one's just so cute because it's got his little sleepy eyes and I just love this one. For the 3 10x10 canvases I have, I'm gonna do a young buck, this duck and her little baby ducklings. And on the one, I think I'm gonna do a combination of 2 photos, so 2 chickadees on the one canvas. For these little 5x7 pieces, one of them is going to be a cow from our trip to the Netherlands when we were on a nice little walk. And then the other one I'm going to do is puffins. I want to do the puffins on this little photo because it's a little bit grainier of a reference photo. So I'm going to put that on a smaller canvas so that I don't have to make up detail. I don't know all the little nooks and crannies of a puffin. We're going to have to go off of the information in the photo. And so it's gonna be on a tiny canvas. We have the 11x14 canvases. One of them is gonna be a buck, and we're gonna do another red fox painting on the other 11x14. And this one's standing up. I'm probably just gonna use the front half of its body in that photo, kind of coming out from the side of the canvas. And then on the big 18x24, this guy right here, flamingos, okay? Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm excited too. And I just don't know what to put on the other 20x20. I could literally throw like 5 chickadees on that canvas and have it be like a big fun birds flying everywhere. But I think there needs to be a point in time where I just stop painting so many chickadees. And maybe instead, okay, an idea is cooking. For the 20x20, what I might end up doing is I know I have a really nice photo of a blue jay jumping off of our fence in our yard with a peanut in his mouth, and he's looking awfully cute in that one. And then I could have a couple chickadees swooping up top, 4 birds in total. It could be like a whole bird scene. Now that I've talked that through, that's what I might do. Writing out all the names of the animals when I'm planning this many paintings at one time, this has been the way I typically do it. And then I just kind of like spread it out over all the sizes of canvases until it makes sense to me. I think it's at a good point. I don't feel like I need to go buy any other different sizes of canvas. I think I have what I need to make this work. I think that means we might be on to the fun part of this, which is planning color palettes. I know I want a couple of pieces to have some really soft spring colors, stuff that's really calming, because if you've seen any of my paintings before, they're quite loud, like they're quite bright, and I'm fine with that. They're very, very fun, and that's kind of what's worked for me up until this point, but I tend to gravitate towards more calm, earthy tones, so I want to incorporate a few more calm, earthy tones into these, so maybe I can keep a print for myself and put it up in my house. Aside from incorporating some spring colors, I'll probably also just let the photos that I'm using inspire a lot of the color palettes, but don't get fooled by the references I showed you on screen. My paintings don't look anything like the reference. Like if you take this painting behind me, for example, these are the reference photos for it. They're definitely not a one-for-one recreation. So I've had some fun playing around on Pinterest, and these are some of the color palettes that I really want to incorporate into these upcoming paintings. I have 5 canvas. They have their colors. For the flamingo painting, I'm thinking of a color palette kind of like this. For backyard birds, for the cow, for the 5x7 puffin, I'm thinking of something like this. For the squirrel, and for the red fox laying down. Lastly, one of the things I like to think about before I get into a painting is the composition. Now, the way I do it is actually really, really simple. I don't really overthink a composition. I don't have any master techniques that I follow. I just kind of wing it. Basically, all I really care about is I don't typically place the subjects dead in the center of the canvas. I like to have them kind of off to a third or a little bit off to a side. If a subject is nearing the edge of the canvas, I'm just gonna pull it partially off the canvas so it's not just like touching touching the edge of the canvas. And then typically if one of the subjects I'm painting is in shadow and is really dark, in a certain area I'll put light in the background behind that. Or if they're really, really light, the background will be a little bit darker in that area. Because I'm dealing with kind of like a fluid, abstract background, I can kind of get away with placing those lights and dark exactly in the areas I want them to be. I just find that this helps the characters pop. I like my subjects to have quite a bit of contrast in them. But in general, composition isn't something that I overthink about. Sometimes I just kind of make it up as I go along. Sometimes when I throw on the background and see the shapes that I make, I want to move the subject in the piece from where I was originally thinking. You just kind of have to go with the flow on that one. I hope you guys found this video helpful or at least a little bit interesting. If you want to see how much progress I make in this coming month when I paint every single day for a month, subscribe. Authentic only? Oh my god, I can filter by authentic only. I don't know why I didn't try that before. Ah, there's still AI in this. Yeah, okay. What if I just did a bunch of fish? Bye.